So we've got our Snow Performance methanol injection kit installed on the truck. Now it's time for the part where we actually blend what we're going to inject. Stick around. Hey everybody, welcome back to the garage, and as always, big shout out to all the new subscribers down there. If you have not subscribed already, click the link down in the corner, ring that bell. You don't want to miss out. We're getting ready to start the tuning phase of the Super Auto with the F1A and the Snow Performance methanol injection. That being said, big shout out to Snow Performance and Nitrous Express as always for their support of the channel and sponsoring this build out. Now comes the important part. Choosing what we're going to inject. In the past, I've always just gone out and used the standard blue washer fluid. This stuff is generally 25 to 30% methanol. The rest is water with a little food dye in it. And the nice thing about it is it's dirt cheap. You can buy it in boxes of like 6 containers at once. You get a whole gallon and it just made life easy. But for the Super Auto, we're going to go a little bit of a different course. We're going to actually blend our own. And the main reason behind that is we want to go out to a 50-50 blend, and not just any 50-50 blend, because a lot of people will blend 50-50 and it's going to be by volume. That's where they take their container, they measure half of the methanol and then half of the water, mix it together and call it a 50-50 blend. We're going to do it by weight. So methanol is around 6.5 pounds per gallon, water is around 8.5 pounds per gallon. If you mix 50-50 by weight, you're going to end up with more methanol than water per the weight, but that is the 50-50 by weight ratio that we're going to be shooting for. In order to do that, we're going to take one of our empty washer bottles. Got it right here, and what I've done is I've drawn a line on here, and you say, well, if we're doing it by weight, why do you have a line on there? The idea behind it is we're going to go ahead and fill this thing up to methanol to around here, pay attention to the weight on our scale, get it to a nice round number, and then we'll add water on top. I tried to get it somewhere about in the middle of the bottle because I know if I get the methanol halfway up, it's going to take less water to equal the same amount of weight per the bottle. So we've only got a gallon jug here. We'll have to do a couple mixed batches, but the big thing is if you've got a nice postal scale or something like that sitting around, in which we have our scale that we use for filling our nitrous bottles, we've got an easy way to get a consistent blend. And by doing it by weight, it doesn't matter what shape container or size container that we do in, as long as we match how much methanol we put in with the exact same amount of water. And when it comes to water, we're just using straight, cheap, distilled water. Make sure you use something that's distilled, purified. You don't want to just run tap water that has crap in it. We want clean water whenever we mix it in. That all out of the way, why don't we go ahead and set up so we can see the scale and we'll start blending our own methanol. Okay, here we've got everything we need and then some stuff. Honestly, if you're going to do it by volume, grab yourself something, you know, like a nice big measuring cup that you can do equal volumes on that. Just make sure and take your bullets out of it before you mix it up. I know that you want some horsepower, but we don't necessarily need some firepower. I've got my empty bottle, I've got my distilled water, and I've got my can of methanol. Now, where do we get methanol? That's a good question. VP Racing is a good place, and then Sunoco makes their own. You're just going to have to call around, use the dealership list on the different manufacturer site. I actually found these, I bought a couple 5-gallon pails. They're around 40 bucks. And they were through a Hoosier tire distributor that actually carried Sunoco fuel. So we're looking for M1, or in this case S1 methanol, which is Sunoco's version of M1, which is going to be 96 to 99% pure methanol. Make sure you don't store this stuff on concrete. It will cause issues. Oops, and I got a little leak out of my breather. I'm going to try and do this without making a huge mess. So the big thing that we want to do is go ahead and turn on our scale. We're going to load up our bottle and our funnel on here. I wish this bottle had a flatter bottom. And then we're going to tare weight the scale to make sure that we're zeroed out as we add our methanol. And we're looking to get about to the line that we have on here. Hopefully I do not make a huge mess. I'm going to put on some PPE though, just to be safe. Yeah, I was grinding on some plastic earlier today. I had my safety glasses sitting about 6 inches away from me and shot a piece of hot melted plastic into my eye. That was not fun. So, as unstable as this is, this might get a little messy, but we're going to do our best. Probably help if I opened up the bleeder up top here. There we go. Okay, that's right on our line there for our even blend. We'll go ahead and cap off our bottle again, or our can. Move it out of the way, and we're at 2 pounds 11 ounces. So that's going to put us at, you know what? We can do it this way. 2 pounds 11 ounces. Instead of having to do the math, let's do tare weight on it now. And we're going to fill it up until we have 2 pounds and 11 ounces of water. There's the 2 pound mark, 8 ounces, 9, oh, there we go, 11 ounces, 2 pounds, 11 ounces. That means we now have the exact same weight amount of methanol in water. Go ahead and pull our funnel out, throw our lid on, give her a nice shake mix up. You can throw some food coloring in there if you want to see it, but as you can see, we got a little of bubble in there, a little oxygen trapped in there. It'll probably clear out a little bit whenever it is all said and done. But now we've got our first batch of methanol that we can go ahead and throw into our tank. And then, you know, and as I said here, you can see that even though we filled it up to the line, we didn't get quite double what we had in there. That goes back to the fact that we're adding the same amount of weights for both the methanol and the water. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. You can do it either way. This is what's considered a true methanol 50-50 blend. If you do it by volume, 50-50 volume, you're going to have what is considered more of a 60-40 split. In that range, you can do the math based off of the weights of the water and the methanol. For no more complicated than this is and how much you're going to get out of a 5-gallon pail, it's easier to do it on your own. But at the same time, I wouldn't fault you if you just went out there and bought premix or ran windshield washer fluid like I have in the past. Okay, quicker video than usual, but I want to keep this one short and simple. We're just making a blend. And the way that we've done it with volume with the scale means that we will have a consistent blend every time because we're going to measure how much ethanol we put in, and then we will put in the exact same weight amount of water on top of it. If you're filling your system up for the first time, make sure fill it up and then take your outlet where it goes to the nozzle, put it into a container and clean out your lines. Push all that stuff through before hooking it up and actually starting to spray. We're going to touch on some of that more later in future videos whenever we set up the Stage 4 boost controller from Snow Performance, and then we're going to dive into tuning, math, speed density, timing, boost, all that stuff using methanol injection as anti-detonation, extra octane, you know, and just a chemical intercooler. It is literally one of the most versatile modifications that you can do, and it's fairly cheap, and you will see real world horsepower gains by doing this. The amount of timing that you can run and the cooler, denser air that you get in there, this is a horsepower mod, not to mention a safety mod for your engine. So if you have any questions, as usual, hit up the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what kind of blend that you guys are running in your vehicles, because I know there's a lot of different formulas that people use, a lot of different blends, things like that. I'd be interested to hear what all you guys are running. If you haven't subscribed, once again, as I said, hit that. Don't forget the live show Thursday nights, 8 Eastern. It's a great place to learn tuning tips, talk to other tuners, and ask me questions live on the air. That being said, thanks for stopping by the garage. ABT, always be tuning.